Then Yahweh said to me, go again, love a woman who is loved by a lover and is committing adultery, just like the love of Yahweh for the children of Israel, who look to other Elohim and love the raisin cakes of the pagans. These raisin cakes were done for the queen of heaven, as seen in the book of Jeremiah. The queen of heaven, who is nowadays worshipped still, except through the name Mary. Of course, different religions will worship the same entity with other names, but Mary is the most common name used by the so-called Queen of Heaven nowadays. And there was the custom also of making raisin cakes in Catholicism for Mary, which we see it comes from way back. So, once again, we see that the Almighty asks of the prophet to do something that most people would find um, wrong or bad. I don't know. Either to complain against Yahweh for doing such a thing, or for this things being written in scriptures, or some would see it as a contradiction from other parts of scriptures, not understanding the role of the prophet. The role of the prophet is to become an example for the people of that which Yahweh is saying, relating to them. So Yahweh makes the prophet go through certain experiences in order for him to know what Yahweh, a little bit of course, is feeling, and therefore he can relay that through experience to those around him. Also, it acts as a prophetical act in which, by the prophet marrying a woman like this, who loves another man, Hosea will know what it is for Yahweh to have Israel who loves other Elohim. And by doing so, he's also leaving an image in this reality of that which Yahweh is experiencing in heaven. So that's also a way in which everything that is in heaven fulfills on earth, and vice versa. So then Yahweh said to me, go again, love a woman who is loved by a lover. Here, let me see the Hebrew. So, and he said, Yahweh to me, once again, take for yourself a loved woman who is loved by a friend. By a friend. So that could be either a friend of Hosea or a friend of hers. Which makes obviously more sense with the context, since Yahweh is the only Elohim. And of course, those who are rebelling from the angels against him are not on his level. And if they are rebels, then they are not friends of his. Therefore, it would be Hosea marrying a woman who loves a friend of hers and is, loved by another man. Then it says, go and love a woman who is loved by a friend and is committing adultery. The simple fact of loving another person while being married to someone else is a sin, because that will lead the person to have thoughts, ideas, and words towards that person that would end up in adultery, or would be adultery in the mind or in the heart. So, and of course, I'm talking about that type of love, of that, like that of a couple, not the other types of love that we do know. So what I mean is the one in a marriage. So, go again, love a woman who is loved by a lover and is committing adultery, just like the love of Yahweh for the children of Israel, who look to other Elohim and love the raisin cakes of the pagans. So I already explained what those cakes were and why they are mentioned, but not only are they mentioned because of the physical aspect, but because of the spiritual also. Remember that the harlot, who is the queen of heaven, the whore of Babylon, as found in Revelation, she uses the wine of her fornication to fool the nations, and that is idolatry. So from her grapes, she gets a wine, a teaching that leads people straight, away from the true doctrine, from the truth, Yahushua HaMashiach. So, raisins obviously are the ones, are grapes, which are dried, and they would make cakes, and then they will obviously eat them. So, therefore, confirms the idea of the doctrine, because the doctrine is mainly represented by food. When we learn of scriptures, we are feeding our soul, and that causes us to rejoice and have life, which is connected to the wine. So grapes also from the vine represent the people of Israel. The vine is also the true vine, is Yahushua HaMashiach. That's why true Israelites are connected to him. And like I already said, the cakes regarding, well, having to do with the doctrine, because they would eat these raisin cakes in honor of the Queen of Heaven. So they would eat the doctrine, the false doctrine of idolatry coming from the grapes of the whore of Babylon. Hope that's clear.